this, the two of you, and then you have a touring band?
Yes.
And did there used to be another brother involved?
Well, he's actually been touring with us on this tour, so he's kind of back with us.
But it's just the two of you who do all the writing?
Well, yeah, that's true.
Pretty much?
Yep.
And what about the recording?
It's the two of us. Yeah.
Do everything?
Yeah.
Then you tell everybody what to do, or
it's
do a little butt kicking.
It's like a communist state, really.
Yeah. It's your way or the highway.
Pretty much.
Always. All right, so new record, Inanimate Objects. 3 years from making the record. What was a little different? You made it, some of it in L.A., was it? Yeah,
well, one of the biggest differences is that we physically made it in Los Angeles as opposed to in our studio in Australia.
And so why did you decide just a different change of pace, maybe?
It was initially, like, we have this amazing studio in Australia, but it's so remote from everything that we had done. Like, we toured America and the world for a year and a half on the first album, and then we got back to Australia, and all of a sudden it didn't feel like the place we needed to be, because it was just so it was so quiet, when you grow up and you don't know any better, it's not that it's better, you don't know any different. It seemed fine, but then going back there when we started the second album, I felt kind of it was too remote.
Yeah, it totally was way too remote.
I think after you're on tour and you're like having fun and you're partying and you're going here and there, and then all of a sudden you're in the middle of nowhere, you're like, what do you do? Like, you need some noise or something.
That's what it was. There was just too little inspiration around. Like, we'd certainly taken in a lot of inspiration touring, but I think it was almost like a sanity thing. Like, we needed to get back to Los Angeles, because at the moment I feel like it's a real hub. So many musicians and writers have moved there, and the people that we toured with and our friends that we'd made over the previous few years were all based in Los Angeles, and it just seemed like the right place to be.
So after touring for a long time and coming off tour must be a little tough, because you're so busy and you have so much to do.
Yeah.
And then what do you do? Like, did you write on the road, or didn't?
A little, but we did the bulk of the writing after the touring, and you've probably heard of the post-tour depression. It's a real thing. It really is. It's like anything, I guess. If you come out of any job that's been very intense, whether you're writing a book or touring or working in an office that's really intense, and then all of a sudden you're sitting, at home, it's weird.
It's like, do you not know what to do with yourself almost?
I think part of it is that when you're a touring musician, every day is kind of structured.
Like, you're here.
Yeah, you go to a radio station, you meet nice people, you have a chat, then you go to the sound check, and then you play a show, and it's kind of regimented. And for a musician, that's rare. There's a reputation about musicians that we're just in a studio playing guitar all the time. And that's kind of true. And then you lose that structure of the tour, and then all of a sudden you've got your time is your own, which is a little weird. It's like your boss gets taken away.
And so how long are you going to be touring this record? When did the tour start, by the way?
Well, technically we started touring around middle of last year, but this particular tour that we're on started at the end of March, and it goes until the end of this month. Then we have a week off, and then we start playing festivals around the country.
Yeah. And then are you doing, like, going back and forth to Europe and doing all the summer festivals in Europe?
I think we're in Europe later towards the end of the summer. I think we might be heading over there.
When all those festivals hit?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the festivals are kind of nice, but it's certainly so much more intimate playing a club and being able to sort of hang with fans, that are just there to kind of see you a little bit.
I honestly like them equally, but for different reasons. Because you've got your own crowd. If you're playing a club, it's your own crowd. Playing a festival, you might have 20,000 people. And so they're both great scenarios. It is very different, because at a festival, you're playing to people who some people know you, some people don't. So there's not that instant recognizing of a song. You might start a song in a club.
You went into Trojans, though. Don't you think 20,000 people there would start singing it?
We're lucky. We have certain songs that the crowd are going to know, but then there's certain deep cuts on an album that maybe they're not. So whereas you play a club show and they know most of the tracks.
They're singing along.
Which
brings me to you're playing the Paradise tonight.
We are playing the Paradise tonight, kids.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you. Mike barely said anything. I feel like we should ask you something. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I woke up feeling a little bit, because I've spent my whole life hanging out with him. I just need 5 minutes away.
All right. We could have, done something. I mean, do you need space sometimes?
Yeah, we do. No, we don't. We love each other.
Who's older?
Keith is.
Did you say obviously?
Obviously,
Wow.
yeah. I mean, look.
I don't know, but listen, everyone's going to kill me. Doesn't he kind of look like Rick Springfield? Isn't that just?
Whoa, that's the biggest insult thing
I know
you've
a
ever-
lot of people probably, but doesn't he kind
Are
of?
we talking modern day Rick Springfield?
No,
like
I'm not.
True Detective, Rick Springfield, all the work.
No, I'm talking
Phew.
80s young General Hospitals, Rick Springfield.
Wow.
Just kind of. Sorry.
That's the greatest compliment I've ever gotten.
Yeah, and you're probably going to beat me up. I'm sorry. All right, we're going to end this session before I really just stick my foot in my mouth more.
You know what? It's more than the music that I'm taking as offensive. Because I'm not a massive fan of Rick Springfield's music, but you know. But I'm sure he was a very charismatic
I don't know.
guy.
Just the look. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Thanks to Shot Talk for this Radio BDC session. Alice Genius.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.